come down with. To become ill with a specific sickness or condition. Synonym for. Come down with. Contract, develop, catch, acquire, contract, succumb to. He started to come down with a cold after spending the weekend in the cold, rainy weather. I think I'm coming down with a cold. My throat is sore. She came down with the flu after being exposed to sick colleagues at work. Get over. To recover from an illness or overcome its effects. Synonym for. Get over. Recover from, heal, recuperate, bounce back, overcome, conquer. It took him a couple of weeks to get over the flu completely and return to his normal routine. With proper rest and medication, she managed to get over the stomach virus within a few days. It took her a few days to get over the flu and return to work. Fight off. To resist or defend against an illness or infection. Synonym for. Fight off. Ward off, repel, resist, combat, defend against, battle. A healthy immune system can help fight off common illnesses. Despite being exposed to the virus, her strong immune system helped her fight off the infection. With plenty of fluids and rest, most people can fight off the common cold within a week. Run a temperature. To have an elevated body temperature, usually due to illness. Synonym for. Run a temperature. Have a fever, be feverish, have an elevated temperature, run a fever, develop a fever, spike a temperature. He was running a high temperature of 102 degrees Fahrenheit, indicating a possible infection. When children run a temperature above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's recommended to monitor them closely and seek medical advice if necessary. The child was running a temperature, so the parents took him to the doctor. Break out in. To suddenly develop a rash or skin condition. Synonym for. Break out in. Develop, erupt in, burst into, break into, show signs of, exhibit. After eating seafood, she broke out in hives. He broke out in a rash after coming into contact with poison ivy during his hike. After eating shellfish, she broke out in hives, indicating an allergic reaction. Hold on to. To retain or continue experiencing symptoms of an illness. Synonym for. Hold on to. Retain, keep, maintain, sustain, cling to, grasp. Some patients may hold on to mild symptoms of the flu for several days after the worst has passed. Despite the treatment, she continued to hold on to the symptoms of her chronic condition. Even after the medication, he still held on to a persistent cough. Go down with. To become ill or catch an illness. Synonym for. Go down with. Fall ill with, contract, come down with, develop, succumb to, be stricken by. Several students went down with the flu after the school outbreak. Many students went down with the norovirus after a classmate brought it to school. He went down with a severe case of pneumonia and had to be hospitalized for treatment. Knock out. To eliminate or overcome an illness or symptom. Synonym for. Knock out. Eliminate, overcome, defeat, subdue, vanquish, beat. The new antibiotic was effective in knocking out the infection. With proper medication and rest, most people can knock out the flu within a week. The antibiotics knocked out the bacterial infection, bringing relief to the patient. Flare up. To worsen or become more intense, often used for chronic conditions. Synonym for flare up: worsen, intensify, aggravate, escalate, heighten, exacerbate. His arthritis tends to flare up during colder weather. Stress can trigger a flare-up of symptoms in patients with autoimmune diseases. Her arthritis often flares up during cold, damp weather, causing intense pain. Wear off. To gradually diminish or lose effectiveness, often referring to the effects of medication. Synonym for wear off: diminish, subside, fade, decrease, weaken, dwindle. The pain relief from the medication began to wear off. The pain reliever wore off after a few hours, so she took another dose as instructed. The sedative's effects will wear off gradually, allowing the patient to wake up naturally. Lay up. To be confined to bed due to illness or injury. Synonym for lay up: confine, bedridden, incapacitate, immobilize, disable, enfeeble. The surgery will lay him up for a few weeks. After injuring his knee, he was laid up in bed for a week, unable to walk without pain. The flu laid her up for several days, leaving her too weak to even get out of bed. Tough it out. To endure or persevere through an illness or difficult situation. Synonym for tough it out: endure, persevere, bear, weather, brave, suffer through. Even though she was feeling unwell, she decided to tough it out and go to work. Despite feeling under the weather, she decided to tough it out and go to work. He toughed it out through the pain, refusing to let it interfere with his daily activities. Hold up. To remain in good health or withstand illness. Synonym for hold up: maintain, endure, sustain, withstand, continue, persist. Despite the stressful situation, she managed to hold up well. Despite the stress of the situation, his health held up remarkably well throughout the ordeal. Her immune system held up well against the virus, and she recovered quickly. Take a turn for the worse. To deteriorate or become more serious. Synonym for take a turn for the worse: deteriorate, decline, worsen, go downhill, degenerate, plummet. After initially showing signs of improvement, the patient suddenly took a turn for the worse. The flu symptoms took a turn for the worse overnight, prompting a visit to the emergency room. Unfortunately, the patient took a turn for the worse overnight. Sweat out. To undergo a period of intense effort or treatment to recover from illness. Synonym for sweat out: endure, undergo, weather, bear, tolerate, suffer. He decided to sweat out the fever by staying in bed and drinking fluids. The athlete decided to sweat out the illness by spending extra time in the sauna to speed up recovery. After catching the flu, she spent days in bed, sweating out the fever and chills. Bounce back. To recover quickly from an illness or setback. Synonym for bounce back. Recover, rebound, rally, regain strength, resurge, revive. After losing her job, she took some time to regroup and bounce back by starting her own business. With proper rest and medication, she was able to bounce back from the flu. Despite the severity of the injury, the player managed to bounce back and return to the field stronger than before. Fade away. To gradually diminish or disappear, often used for symptoms. Synonym for fade away. Diminish, disappear, vanish, subside, evaporate, dwindle. With proper rest and hydration, the headache started to fade away by the evening. As the medication took effect, the symptoms of the virus began to fade away gradually. The pain began to fade away after taking the prescribed medication. Fight through. To endure and overcome the challenges of an illness. Synonym for fight through. Overcome, endure, conquer, prevail, master, triumph over. Despite feeling weak, she was determined to fight through the illness and attend her sister's wedding. With the support of his family and friends, he managed to fight through the pain of chemotherapy and emerge stronger than ever. The athlete fought through a bout of illness to compete in the championship. Come around. To recover or regain consciousness after being ill or unconscious. Synonym for come around. Recover consciousness, wake up, regain consciousness, awaken, stir, arouse. After fainting, it took a few minutes for her to come around. The patient was in a coma for several days before finally coming around and recognizing his family members. After fainting at the party, it took him a few minutes to come around and regain consciousness. See off. To recover from or overcome an illness and bid it farewell. Synonym for see off. Bid farewell to, send off, say goodbye to, farewell, escort, part with. With proper treatment and rest, she managed to see off the flu within a week. The antibiotics helped him to see off the bacterial infection without any complications. With proper treatment, she was able to see off the flu and return to work. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.